Stress is not just a reaction, it is a memorized state of being. The moment you feel tension, frustration, or overwhelm, your body is not reacting to the present moment, it is reliving the past. Every time you wake up and begin thinking about your problems, you are activating the same neural circuits that created those problems in the first place. You fire and wire the same networks, reinforce the same emotions, and signal the same chemistry that floods your system with stress hormones. And when this becomes habitual, stress is no longer something that happens to you, it becomes who you are. But what if you could change it in an instant? What if you could turn off stress in seconds, not through external circumstances, but by shifting your internal state? The body does not know the difference between a real experience and an imagined one. If you have ever thought of something stressful and felt your heart race, you have proven this to yourself. The mere act of thinking about a stressful event releases the same chemical cascade as if you were experiencing it in real time. But the same is true in reverse. If you think of something joyful, something peaceful, your body immediately follows that new instruction. The key is in your awareness. Stress begins in the mind, not the body. It is a signal that you are living in survival mode, where everything feels urgent, everything feels personal, and everything feels like a threat. But survival is not creation. And the only way to break free is to become greater than your body's program response. The moment you notice stress arising, you have an opportunity to disrupt the pattern before it takes over. You have to step into the role of the observer rather than the reactor. The simplest and most immediate way to do this is by changing your breath. In a state of stress, your breath becomes shallow, rapid, and uneven, telling your nervous system that you are in danger. But the moment you take control of your breath, you send a completely different signal. A slow, deep breath in through your nose, held for a moment, and then a long exhale activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the state of restoration and relaxation. With just a few breaths, you begin to shift from survival to creation, from stress to ease, from past conditioning to present awareness. But breath alone is just the first step. The real transformation happens when you shift your focus. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. If your mind is fixated on what went wrong, what might happen, or what others think, then your energy is being drained by an illusion. But if you redirect your focus, even for a few seconds, you pull yourself out of the unconscious loop of stress. You reclaim your power. Imagine, right now, the feeling of gratitude. Not as a concept, but as a real emotion. Recall a time when you felt deeply appreciative, when you experienced something beautiful, when your heart swelled with joy. Hold on to that feeling. Let it grow. The moment you do this, you are no longer in the stress response, you have just turned it off. Gratitude is not just a mental exercise, it is a physiological shift. Studies show that when you experience gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals of well-being and relaxation. Your body responds instantly, your heart rate slows, your blood pressure stabilizes, and your nervous system moves out of fight or flight. This means that in any moment, no matter how stressful, you have the ability to change your state. You are not at the mercy of your external world, you are in command of your internal world. Now, consider what happens when you do this consistently. If you practice shifting your state, if you teach your body to relax on command, you are rewiring your brain. Instead of defaulting to stress, your brain starts to memorize calm, starts to hardwire peace. And over time, stress no longer controls you, because you have become someone new. You have conditioned yourself to respond differently to life. The external world does not change, but your perception of it does. The same situation that once triggered anxiety now triggers clarity. The same person who once upset you now does not hold power over you. Because you are no longer reacting, you are choosing. This is not about denying stress or suppressing emotions. It is about understanding that you are greater than your reactions. When you recognize that stress is simply a pattern, you stop identifying with it. You no longer say, I am stressed. You say, I am experiencing stress, and the moment you say that, you have already created distance between yourself and the emotion. You have stepped out of the automatic response and into awareness. And in that awareness, you are free. The truth is stress only exists in the mind that has forgotten the present moment. In the present, there is no stress, only possibility. In the present, you are not defined by the past, nor worried about the future. You are simply here. And when you are here, fully present, your body follows. Your heart rate synchronizes, your breath deepens, your chemistry shifts. This is not philosophy, this is biology. Your body is responding to the signals you give it. And the greatest signal you can give it is one of coherence, of inner balance, of alignment. Now imagine what happens when you make this your new normal. When stress arises, instead of falling into the old pattern, you stop. You breathe. You shift your focus. You remind yourself that you are greater than this moment. And just like that, stress is gone. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You stepped out of reaction and into creation. And when you do this over and over, you no longer just turn off stress, you become someone who no longer needs it. You become free.